There are so many protein bars out there, it's hard to decide which one is best. So I decided to buy some of the most popular protein bars out there to see which ones are great and which ones you'd be better off skipping. I'm gonna be ranking these bars based on taste, quality, and nutrient profile. So let's get into it with our first bar. Okay, so the first bar we got here is the MRE Bar. This is the oatmeal chocolate chip flavor. It's marketed as a whole food protein bar, which you're gonna tell in a second is gonna drive up the calories and macronutrients. For calories, we have 260 calories. Protein is 20 grams, carbohydrates is 29 grams, and total fat is 9 grams for the macros. All right, let's get into tasting here. The first thing I notice about this is it is chocolate coated. Not all the bars we try today are gonna be chocolate coated, but this one is. First bite, it's quite good. It's chewy, but not too chewy. This one definitely has, although I don't think there's tons of, or any peanut butter in it, because it is the oatmeal chocolate chip. It kind of tastes like, the texture is like peanut buttery, but it's not chalky at all. The flavor is really good. I think the thing that I like the most about these whole food bars is that there's tons of whole food ingredients. There's tons of ingredients to begin with, like there's lots, but most of them are derived from like not many additives, and they're like actual whole food sources. Things that are interesting about this though, the protein blend: beef protein isolate, pea protein, brown rice protein, chicken protein, egg albumin, salmon protein. As I'm mentioning those things, you don't taste that at all. It tastes like a chocolatey, delicious protein bar, but it's got a really varied nutrient profile. This is gonna be a tough one to beat right off the bat. I'm gonna do a ranking out of 10 based on taste, nutrients, all that type of thing. I'm gonna go with, this one is gonna be hard to beat. It's gonna be a 9 out of 10. I'm gonna do a tier list at the beginning, but this is a real strong front runner at the beginning. Okay, so the next bar we're gonna try is this Alani Bar. This flavor is the Munchies flavor. This is a very popular protein bar. I'm gonna give you the nutrition information here. We got calories 210, which when you're comparing to the other whole food bar, for example, it's almost like 100 calories less, which is something to keep in mind. Less ingredients. Overall, it's just gonna be, I don't think the serving size is all that different, but it is less calories overall. We got 15 grams of protein, so slightly less protein, 19 grams of carbs, and 9 grams of fat. And again, this is the Munchies flavor. So another chocolate coated bar here. It was quite good. There's definitely more caramel in it. It's pretty smooth. It's like a little bit denser than the last bar. It's got some, what I'm assuming is like nuts or something around the outside. Maybe it's like, no, it's like a texture of a peanut and that kind of thing. This is a solid bar though. I'm gonna compare some others coming up here that are similar texture wise, but this one is far superior. I don't think it's my personal preference is, even though it's lower calories, I don't think it's as good as the MRE bar, but it's pretty close. I'm gonna rate this one at an 8.5. Calories wise, lower, that could be superior for most, but it's got 15 grams of protein, which is gonna be like slightly less, almost 5 grams less than many of the bars that we'll compare today. So like keep that in mind as you're selecting bars. But we're gonna give that an 8.5 out of 10. Did I say that yet? Maybe I didn't. 8.5 out of 10. One thing that you're probably keeping in mind is I did actually buy all of these bars myself. I'm a frequent customer of Supplement World chain of supplement stores here across Canada. We can buy mix and match there. I did buy all of these bars for $3 individually, although typically the price varies, but that gives you some sense of like, you know, none of them are super expensive or anything like that. It's right around $3. Okay, so the next bar on our list is we have the BSN Protein Crisp Bar. This is the vanilla marshmallow flavor. It says on it, make every day feel like a cheat day. Forward to this one. In terms of ingredients and stuff, like the base of this is a protein inspired Rice Krispie square, essentially. So like keep that in mind in terms of the actual ingredients. not that they're not high quality, but they're a bit more processed than some of the other bars that we tried today. First initial reaction around this, not completely coated by any means, like a lot of the other bars. There's a vanilla coat on the bottom. Much lighter, good crunch to it, not overly like, it's sweet, but not overpowering. To me, this is a better everyday bar. It's like a little bit drier, but it's quite tasty. But to me, this is unique enough that it's substantially different than everything else out there. Not overly chocolatey, not feeling like you're having like a candy bar. This is like a sweet treat that happens to have protein. And did I say the nutrient information? 180 calories, so our lowest calorie bar so far. Protein comes in at 18, so middle of the pack, on the lower end of things, but middle of the pack. We're not necessarily sacrificing protein for the calories, because that makes sense, right? Bring the calories down, you gotta bring a bunch of things down, especially if you're not sacrificing on taste as well. Carbohydrates is 24 grams of carbs, 9 of which are going to be fiber. So I think it's the highest fiber bar so far, and 6 grams of fat. So pretty like balanced macronutrients. You can make with all of these bars, and I think everyone we've touched on today, is that many times like the carbs and or fat calories are higher than the amount of protein, like calories coming from protein. So you could make the argument they're not truly protein bars, but this one seems to be one of the most balanced. Taste is really good. This could be my bias and personal preference thing, but since it's not overly chocolatey, I really enjoy it. This is getting a 9 out of 10 ranking. So tying the MRE Bar from our first choice there. Really, really good. It's gonna be hard for me to decide between the two who wins the tiebreaker there, but that's our third bar. Next up, in our number 4 slot here, we have the Pure Protein Bar. This is the chewy chocolate chip flavor. I've had this in the past. I know quite a bit about it. This is the protein bar you can find everywhere. You don't have to go to a specialty supplement store. You get it at Costco, gas station. They are absolutely everywhere, which I don't think impacts much about nutrients, guys. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. 200 calories, 20 grams of protein, 18 grams of carbs, and 5 grams of fat. By definition, a true protein bar. It's not a meal replacement bar. It's not an energy bar. It has most of its calories coming from protein. So that part is interesting. That's gonna give it a slight edge from a nutrient standpoint. From an actual ingredient standpoint, a lot of the usual suspects, as well as like some fillers and that type of stuff. It's probably the least expensive bar that we're gonna try today. And to be honest, that explains a lot about it. Chocolatey coated. It's just not very good to me. I think 7 years ago, with everything else out there, it would have been, I don't want to say the word tolerable, but it would have been better. Now it's just like, it's way too chewy. It doesn't, maybe a little bit flavorless in terms of what it delivers. I just don't, despite being a true protein bar and everything, it's definitely an afterthought. I think it's like the commoner's protein bar you can find everywhere. But other than that, it's quite underwhelming. Doesn't taste all that good. Good in a pinch, but I wouldn't go out of my way to get it. We're giving it a 6 out of 10. Next up on the list, we have the Nutrabolics Feed Bar. This is the peanut butter chocolate flavor. It's also marketed as a real food protein bar and got some oatmeal in it. Ingredients wise, when you compare them against the rest of the rest of the bars here, it has less overall ingredients, which, I mean, that's not the end all be all metric of health or anything, but generally that means it's like, you know, a little bit less processed, there's less going into it, that type of thing. First ingredient is granola oats, whey protein isolate, whey protein concentrate, honey, peanut butter, no hydrogenated oils, no fake fiber, that type of stuff. I don't know, I think it does have artificial sweeteners. At first glance is I don't see them anywhere, so it might be without that. Honey might be doing all of it. Here's the bar, give you a sense of what it's like. It's got a chocolate coating on the top. The rest of it is kind of like this like oatmeal, like solid thing. Really, really chewy. I typically buy I also eat the vegan blueberry one. I haven't had this one in a while, but it's quite good. It's almost like a hearty dessert than a bar. Kind of more like, I don't know, something you get at a cafe or something. It's quite good though. I would, nutrient profile wise, I forgot to talk about the calories too. I think this might be the highest calorie one on our list. 298, which it is the highest that we've done so far, and I believe we will do today. 22 grams of protein, 30 grams of carbs, and 10 grams of fat. So it's bordering on more what would be like an energy bar, but what I think you add in for calories, you probably make up for in more like whole food ingredients and less additives, preservatives, and artificial stuff, which again, I'm not entirely against, but generally it's not a bad idea to avoid, especially in like processed foods to begin with. But taste wise, this is quite good. I think the other ones, the Alani Bar, MRE Bar, this is like a 9 as well, and we're like rating them all similarly, but that's where I'm gonna put this. This is like personal preference wise, my style of bar. I would eat it every day. This is just a great choice overall. Okay, next up we have the Barebells Creamy Crisp Protein Bar. The flavor is creamy crisp here. I've never tried this bar, admittedly, so I'm a little bit excited. Many of the others I have tried, or at least like in the distance past have tried. Calories, 210 calories, so very energy economical. Protein comes in at 20 grams, carbs 19 grams, fat 8 grams. Quick look over the ingredients. First ingredient is the protein blend. Calcium caseinate, whey protein isolate, whey protein concentrate. Got some artificial flavors as well as sucralose. Not tons of ingredients overall, but some of them are processed, which is cool. Again, heard good things about this. Got the chocolatey coating there as well as something crisp around it. Extremely soft. Wow. This is quite different. The vanilla in the middle is a game changer. I think it tastes like coconut. It was extremely soft though. I'm very surprised, especially with a lot of times protein bars are like, can be chewy, not really chalky, but like a bit more dense. This is light and airy, and I'm surprised. I had an idea of what I thought was gonna happen going into this, but it's not that way at all. Oh man, really, really good. I have nothing bad to say about this bar. I'm gonna give it, is it novelty that's driving my decisions here? I'm not quite sure. But you factor in the relatively low calories with it still being like a 55 gram bar overall, which now that I'm on protein bar 5 here, I haven't ate them all admittedly, but I'm starting to slow down a little bit. But like quite low calories for the amount of bar you get with a decent amount of protein and amazing taste and like the texture, game changer. 9.5, highest rating yet. Maybe I was rating some of the other ones higher. I don't think I'm gonna adjust them after, but we're gonna give this one a 9.5, our highest rating yet. We got the Grenade Protein Bar. This is the Caramel Chaos version. You know, sometimes you just can't say the words right. 220 calories, 21 grams of protein, 23 grams of carbs, 7 grams of fat. First ingredient is the protein blend. Got some natural and artificial flavors, as well as a few like fillers and that type of stuff. Had this bar in the past, but haven't had it in a while. Let's get into it. Okay, chocolate coating. Similarly to the Barebells one, it does have like a bit of texture at the top. It's good. Probably of all the bars we tried today, it's most comparable taste and texture wise to the last bar, the Barebells bar. If I had to think about a chocolate bar, I think it's the most like Twix or something. This is good. The filling is good as well. It's not as airy as the last one, but the taste is quite good. It's probably one of the better tasting ones, but the texture's not wowing me like the last one was. If I had to give this a rating, I'd say it's close to the others. Texture wise, it's good and it's a solid bar. I don't love the overly like chocolatey ones as well, although the last one was, and I loved it, but maybe it was just the novelty. But like I don't overly love that. I'd rather have like a different style of bar. We're gonna give this an 8 out of 10. All right, the next one up is a spin on a candy bar. Everyone knows that Snickers satisfies. This is the Snickers protein bar version. 18 grams of protein. Got 199 calories, which, like, how is the actual candy bar version of something one of the lower calorie things that we have today? But it is 18 grams of protein, like I mentioned, 18 grams of carbs, and 7 grams of fat. It also is a pure protein bar, like by definition, like the calories are coming from protein. We're talking about protein bars, like not an energy bar that has protein, not a candy bar that has protein, and most of it has protein. Admittedly, I've had the Mars bar one before. I'm not sure I've had this. Very soft, has similar nutty texture to an actual Snickers bar. I don't know if I've been like so conditioned to actually like protein bars versus candy bars. I think this one tastes pretty similar. It has similar taste to the pure protein bar, but texture wise is like 10 times better. I'm not sure it wows me like the others. I didn't do a thorough look at the ingredients though. Although just based on what I'm seeing here, this is the most ingredients of any bar that we have in terms of the protein blend, but everything else, there's like glucose syrup, liquid invert sugar. If anyone knows what that is, let me know in the comments. I have no idea. As well as just like tons of like heavily processed ingredients. So keep that in mind. With all that being said, it is still quite good. We're gonna get, I don't know if I would go out of my way to eat this, definitely over a pure protein bar, but we're gonna give it an 8. All right guys, I'm slowing down here. It's getting hot up here. Got the protein sweats. Next up we have the Warrior Crunch. This is marketed as a high protein, low sugar bar. I believe, where's the flavor here? This is the fudge brownie flavor. We got 239 calories, 20 grams of protein, 23 grams of carbs, and 11 grams of fat. I have had one of these bars in the past. Got sprinkles coming off it right off the bat, which I'm not sure I'm into. I want to be able to eat my protein bar in bed, you know? Just, I don't always do that, but I want to be able to. So the fact that it's like kind of messy it is what it is. The most rigid of all the bars and quite long. Very chocolatey around the outside. And the inside, which is typically the soft part, is quite hard. So it's almost the inverse of most protein bars. It's quite crunchy, but the taste is good. It's a little bit messy and tough to get through. I'd say it's almost like kind of hard on my teeth too. This one of all the bars feels like a real treat. Like it feels like you're eating something like a bit more like decadent and gluttonous. The taste is good. The texture is just like not overly for me. We're gonna give this a 7.5. Last up, folks, we have the Built Bar. This is the peanut butter brownie flavor. Zero guilt, 100% real chocolate, 180 calories, 19 grams of protein, 20 grams of carbs, 6 of which coming from fiber. I haven't read all the fiber to you guys, but when it says like 6 or 7, it pops out to me, so I just gotta say it. 6 grams of fat, so pretty balanced macronutrients. The bar itself, it feels a little bit smaller. And let me see if I can catch a weight on here. 56 grams, so it's comparable to the rest. Entirely chocolate coated. It must be dense because it feels smaller than the rest. It's chewy, and the texture is different than the rest. I almost feel like there's gotta be dates in here or something. Because it's like almost a bit sticky. Protein blend, dark chocolate, digestion resistant maltodextrin. Interesting. Yeah, there's something about it that's a little bit more sticky inside. Taste wise, it's solid. I like the dark chocolate. Some of the others, we'll go over the tier list in a second, definitely like wowed me. So we'll keep that in mind. I'm gonna go the Built Bar. I think nutrition profile wise, it's pretty solid. Ingredients seem okay. The taste is, this is 7.5. This is similar to the Warrior. Wouldn't go out of my way to get it. The texture's a little bit different and not in a bad way, but the taste isn't superb or anything by any means. So that's what we're going with for our last and final protein bar. Let's move on to the tiered rankings. All right, and this brings us to our tiered rankings. In the top spot, or the superb, or even sometimes called God tier, we have the Barebells Bar. It was, honestly, I had never tasted it before, and it blew me away. It's gonna get that top spot. And under that, in the A ranking, we're gonna have the MRE Bar, the Feed Bar, and the BSN Protein Crisp Bar. In the B tier, we're gonna have the Alani Bar, the Grenade Bar, as well as the Snickers Protein Bar. And in our lowest tier here, we're going to have the Warrior Crunch Bar, as well as the Pure Protein Bar. And that's the tiered ranking. And that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed the protein bar review. If you liked this video, you're gonna love the next video I've linked up right here. I tried 8 pre-workout supplements over the course of 8 days. I ranked them all, gave you an idea of like why you would take pre-workout and caffeine-based, stimulant-based workout drinks to begin with. You're gonna learn all about that and what I found and what's best in the video right here. So check it out now. I'll see you in the next video.